unveiling the saga of the Vikings. History can sometimes feel dry and boring, making it difficult to engage with and learn from. Have you ever wished you could travel back in time and experience the thrilling adventures of the Viking Age firsthand? Do you find yourself struggling to connect with history books that fail to capture the excitement and intrigue of this fascinating era? So, welcome to the Viking Age, where history comes alive. Immerse yourself in the epic tales of fearless warriors, legendary battles, and daring explorations. Our engaging storytelling and immersive experiences will transport you back in time, allowing you to witness the triumphs and tribulations of these legendary Norsemen. Discover the secrets of their culture, unravel ancient mysteries, and experience the thrill of being a Viking warrior. Get ready for an unforgettable journey through history. When a group of fierce seafarers known as the Vikings The Viking Age marked a significant period in history, when the Vikings emerged as a formidable group of seafarers from the Scandinavian lands. Were known for their fierce nature and adventurous spirit, venturing far and wide across Europe, Asia, and even North America. The Vikings were skilled navigators who relied on their impressive longships to explore new territories, conduct trade, and engage in warfare. Their voyages took them to distant lands such as England, Ireland, France, Russia, and beyond. They left a lasting impact on the regions they visited through their conquests and cultural exchanges. Not only were the Vikings known for their military prowess, but also for their rich mythology and sagas. Their gods like Odin, Thor, and Loki continue to be popular figures in modern culture. The Viking Age was a complex era with various aspects of society. Including trade networks, social structures, religious beliefs, artistry, and legal systems. Archaeological discoveries have shed light on their burial rituals. Craftsmanship skills seen in intricate metalwork and shipbuilding techniques. While the Viking Age eventually came to an end with the Christianization of Scandinavia and political changes within Europe during the 11th century onwards. The stories of these seafaring warriors still resonate as symbols of adventure and exploration. During this remarkable period in history, present a glimpse into their daily lives, highlighting their exceptional shipbuilding skills and their thirst for exploration. In their daily lives, Vikings were primarily engaged farming, fishing and trading. They lived in close-knit communities where agriculture played a crucial role in sustaining their society. However, it was their mastery of shipbuilding that truly set them apart. Vikings built longships, sleek and sturdy vessels designed for both riverine and open sea travel. These ships featured shallow drafts, allowing them to navigate through shallow waters, while also withstanding rough seas. The Vikings' shipbuilding techniques were renowned for their craftsmanship and innovation, enabling them to undertake daring expeditions across vast distances. Driven by a desire for exploration and discovery, Vikings embarked on legendary voyages that took them as far as North America, Asia Minor, present-day Turkey, and even Africa. Their ships allowed them to navigate rivers, cross oceans, and establish trade routes that connected different regions of the known world. Their thirst for exploration was not limited to trade alone. It also encompassed raiding and conquests. The Vikings conducted raids on coastal settlements throughout Europe, leaving a lasting impact on the regions they encountered. Their swift longships allowed them to strike quickly before disappearing back into the sea. In conclusion, the Viking Age was an era marked by extraordinary shipbuilding skills and an unwavering passion for exploration. Through their advanced maritime technology and fearless spirit, Vikings left an indelible mark on history. As intrepid adventurers who pushed the boundaries of human exploration. To the birth of a warrior culture. Explore the early years of Viking society, emphasizing their warrior traditions and hierarchical structure. The early years of Viking society were characterized by their warrior traditions, the Vikings were skilled fighters who valued bravery and martial prowess. They engaged in frequent raids and conquests, targeting coastal communities and monasteries across Europe. Their longships allowed them to navigate rivers and oceans with ease, making them a formidable force on both land and sea. In addition to their warrior culture, the Vikings had a hierarchical social structure. Society was organized into different classes based on birthright and wealth. At the top were the jarls, nobles, who held significant power and authority over their territories. Beneath them were free farmers who owned land and livestock. Below the free farmers were thralls or slaves who served as laborers for their masters. Despite their reputation as fierce warriors, the Vikings also had complex trade networks. And engaged in peaceful activities such as farming, fishing, and craftsmanship. They established settlements in various parts of Europe, including Iceland, Greenland, Ireland, England, France, Russia, and even ventured as far as North America. Overall, the early years of Viking society were marked by their warrior traditions and hierarchical structure. Their impact on European history cannot be underestimated as they shaped trade routes, influenced political dynamics in various regions they settled in, while leaving behind a rich cultural legacy that still fascinates us today. Introduce key figures such as legendary Viking chieftains and kings who shaped their history. During this time, the Vikings emerged as skilled seafarers and warriors, leaving an indelible mark on the regions they explored and conquered. Central to the Viking culture were their chieftains and kings, who played pivotal roles in shaping their society and history. One legendary figure of the Viking Age was Ragnar Lothbrok, a semi-legendary Norse chieftain known for his daring exploits and leadership. Ragnar's story has been immortalized in Norse sagas and popular culture, portraying him as a fierce warrior and explorer. Another prominent Viking leader was Harald Fairhair, often considered the first king of Norway. Harald unified various petty kingdoms under his rule during the late 9th century, establishing a centralized monarchy that laid the foundation for future Norwegian kings. Eric the Red is another notable figure who left his mark on Viking history. He is credited with founding settlements in Greenland after being exiled from Iceland. His son, Leif Erikson, is believed to have led expeditions to North America centuries before Christopher Columbus. These key figures exemplify the adventurous spirit and leadership qualities that defined Viking society during this era. Through their actions and conquests, they shaped not only their own destinies, but also influenced the course of European history as a whole.
3. Conquest and expansion. Follow the Vikings on their daring raids across Europe, from England to France, Ireland, and beyond. The Viking Age was a period of history characterized by the adventurous raids and expeditions carried out by the Vikings. These Norse seafarers, known for their skilled navigation and formidable warriors, embarked on daring voyages across Europe, leaving a lasting impact on the regions they encountered. The Vikings set sail from their homelands in Scandinavia, primarily from what is now modern-day Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Their voyages took them to various destinations, including England, France, Ireland, and beyond. These raids were not only focused on acquiring wealth, but also expanding their influence and establishing settlements in new lands. They would often surprise coastal communities with sudden attacks, looting treasures and resources before swiftly retreating back to their ships. During these expeditions, the Vikings encountered different cultures and societies. They interacted with local populations through trade or conflict. Over time, some Vikings chose to settle in the lands they had raided or explored. This led to the establishment of Viking settlements in places like Dublin, Ireland, York, England, Normandy, France, and even as far as Iceland and Greenland. While the Viking Age is often associated with violence and plundering due to their raiding activities, it is important to note that the Vikings also played a significant role in trade networks across Europe. They engaged in commerce with other regions through established trading routes, such as those along rivers like the Volga in Eastern Europe. Today, we can still see traces of Viking heritage through archaeological discoveries of burial sites, artifacts like weapons and jewelry adorned with intricate designs, known as Viking art. In conclusion, the Viking Age was a remarkable era, defined by the audacious exploits of these seafaring warriors who ventured far from home on daring raids across Europe. The Viking Age, spanning from the late 8th century to the early 11th century, was characterized by the military prowess and ruthless reputation of the Vikings. These Scandinavian seafarers were known for their raiding and pillaging activities, particularly targeting monasteries and coastal settlements. The Vikings employed various military tactics that contributed to their success on the battlefield. One of their key strengths was their ability to quickly mobilize and launch surprise attacks using their longships, which were fast and versatile vessels designed for both shallow rivers and open seas. This allowed them to strike swiftly at vulnerable targets before retreating just as quickly. Their raiding tactics often involved hit-and-run strategies, where they would swiftly invade a settlement or monastery, loot valuable resources such as gold, silver, and religious artifacts, and then retreat before any significant resistance could be mounted. This element of surprise, combined with their superior navigation skills, gave them a distinct advantage over their opponents. The Vikings' ruthless reputation stemmed from their willingness to resort to violence when met with resistance or defiance. They were known for instilling fear in the communities they targeted through acts of brutality and intimidation. This not only served as a means of securing compliance, but also deterred potential adversaries from challenging them. Despite their violent reputation, it is important to note that not all Viking activities were centered around warfare. They were also skilled traders, explorers, settlers, and craftsmen who made significant contributions to art, culture, trade routes expansion. During this era, overall, the Viking Age stands as a testament to the military prowess and fearsome reputation of these seafaring warriors who left an indelible mark on European history through their pillaging expeditions along coastlines and monastic centers. 4. Settlements and trade. Shed light on the Vikings' lesser-known side as skilled traders and craftsmen. The Viking Age. Often associated with raids and conquests, also had a lesser-known side that showcased the Viking skills as traders and craftsmen. While their seafaring expeditions have garnered much attention, it is important to shed light on the other aspects of Viking society. Contrary to popular belief, Vikings were not solely focused on warfare. They were skilled traders who established extensive trade networks across Europe, Asia, and even as far as North America. Their mastery of navigation allowed them to navigate treacherous waters and establish trading routes that spanned continents. In addition to their trading prowess, Vikings were renowned craftsmen. They excelled in various crafts, such as shipbuilding, metalworking, woodworking, and textile production. Their ships were marvels of engineering, designed for both warfare and long-distance travel. Viking metalwork showcased intricate designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Furthermore, the Vikings' expertise in textile production resulted in high-quality fabrics that were sought after throughout Europe. They used traditional techniques, such as tablet weaving, to create intricate patterns on garments. It is important to recognize the multifaceted nature of Viking society, beyond their reputation as warriors. By acknowledging their skills as traders and craftsmen, we gain a more comprehensive understanding of the Viking Age and appreciate the cultural contributions they made during this period, illustrate how they established trading networks across Europe, and even ventured as far as Constantinople, present-day Istanbul. Known for their seafaring skills and warrior culture, the Vikings were able to establish extensive trading networks across Europe and even ventured as far as Constantinople, present-day Istanbul. One of the key factors that enabled the Vikings to establish these trading networks was their mastery of shipbuilding and navigation. Their longships were well suited for both coastal raiding and long-distance travel, allowing them to navigate rivers, fjords, and open seas with relative ease. This gave them a distinct advantage in terms of mobility and access to various trade routes. The Vikings' trading activities were not limited to simple exchanges of goods. They engaged in complex economic interactions with other cultures, establishing trade routes that stretched from Scandinavia to regions such as England, Ireland, France, Russia, and even further eastward. These routes allowed for the exchange of commodities, such as furs, timber, honey, slaves, weapons, silver coins known as hack silver, and other luxury goods. However, it was their ventures into the Byzantine Empire that truly showcased their reach and ambition. The Vikings established trade connections with Constantinople through both peaceful means and occasional military expeditions. They became known as Varangians or Russ, serving as mercenaries in the Byzantine army, while also engaging in lucrative trade with the empire. The Viking presence in Constantinople facilitated cultural exchange between Norsemen and Byzantines. This interaction influenced art styles, language development, such as Old East Slavic, religious practices as some converted to Christianity, and even political dynamics within both societies. In conclusion, the Vikings' ability to establish extensive trading networks across Europe. During the Viking Age was a testament to their maritime prowess. Their ventures into distant lands like Constantinople not only expanded their economic opportunities, but also left a lasting impact on the cultures they encountered. 5. Exploration of new lands. Narrate the intrepid voyages undertaken by Viking explorers, like Leif Erikson to lands such as Greenland and Vinland, North America. The Viking Age was characterized by the military prowess and ruthless reputation of the Vikings. These Scandinavian seafarers were known for their raiding and pillaging activities, particularly targeting monasteries and coastal settlements. The Vikings employed various military tactics that contributed to their success on the battlefield. One of their key strengths was their ability to quickly mobilize and launch surprise attacks using their longships, which were fast and versatile vessels, designed for both shallow rivers and open seas. This allowed them to strike swiftly at vulnerable targets before retreating just as quickly. Their raiding tactics often involved hit-and-run strategies, where they would swiftly invade a settlement or monastery, loot valuable resources such as gold, silver, and religious artifacts, and then retreat before any significant resistance could be mounted. This element of surprise, combined with their superior navigation skills, gave them a distinct advantage over their opponents. The Vikings' ruthless reputation stemmed from their willingness to resort to violence when met with resistance or defiance. They were known for instilling fear in the communities they targeted through acts of brutality and intimidation. This not only served as a means of securing compliance, but also deterred potential adversaries from challenging them. Despite their violent reputation, it is important to note that not all Viking activities were centered around warfare. They were also skilled traders, explorers, settlers, and craftsmen, who made significant contributions to art, culture, trade routes, expansion during this era. Overall, the Viking Age stands as a testament to the military prowess and fearsome reputation of these seafaring warriors, who left an indelible mark on European history through their pillaging expeditions along coastlines and monastic centers. Discuss their encounters with indigenous peoples and speculate about potential interactions with Native Americans. The Viking Age was a significant period in European history, characterized by Norse exploration, trade, and raiding activities. During this time, Vikings embarked on daring voyages across the Atlantic Ocean, reaching as far as North America. While there is limited concrete evidence of direct encounters between Vikings and Native Americans, there are intriguing speculations about potential interactions. Norse sagas and archaeological findings suggest that Vikings may have encountered indigenous peoples during their explorations in North America. One notable account is the Vinland sagas, which describe Viking expeditions to a place called Vinland, believed to be present-day Newfoundland around the year 1000. These sagas mention encounters with indigenous people, known as Skraelings or Native Americans. It is believed that peaceful trade relations may have been established between the Vikings and these indigenous groups. Archaeological discoveries, such as the L'Anse aux Meadows site in Newfoundland, provide further evidence of Viking presence in North America. The remains of Norse structures suggest that they established temporary settlements during their expeditions. However, it is important to note that our understanding of Viking interactions with Native Americans remains speculative due to limited historical records and conflicting interpretations. Further research and archaeological investigations are needed to uncover more conclusive evidence about these encounters. The potential interactions between Vikings and Native Americans highlight the interconnectedness of different cultures during this era of exploration. They serve as a reminder of how historical events can shape our understanding of past civilizations and their impact on indigenous populations.
6. Religion and mythology. Dive into Norse mythology, focusing on gods like Odin, Thor, and Loki. During this time, Norse seafarers known as Vikings embarked on daring voyages across the seas, leaving a lasting impact on culture and history. One fascinating aspect of the Viking Age is Norse mythology. The Vikings worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, with Odin, Thor, and Loki being among the most well-known figures. Odin was considered the All-Father and ruler of Asgard, while Thor was revered as the god of thunder and protector of mankind. Loki, often depicted as a trickster figure, brought both chaos and cunning to Norse mythology. Exploring Norse mythology provides valuable insights into the beliefs and values of Viking society. These stories not only entertained, but also served as moral lessons for their communities. Understanding these mythical tales helps us comprehend the mindset of these ancient seafarers, who played such a crucial role in shaping European history. By delving into topics such as gods like Odin, Thor, and Loki within Norse mythology during the Viking Age, we can gain a deeper appreciation for this rich cultural heritage that continues to captivate our imagination today. Examine the religious practices of the Vikings, including rituals, sacrifices, burial customs, and beliefs about an afterlife in Valhalla. Their religious practices encompassed various rituals, sacrifices, burial customs, and beliefs about an afterlife in Valhalla. The Vikings worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, with Odin being one of the most prominent deities. Rituals played a crucial role in their religious practices. They would hold ceremonies to honor their gods and seek their favor for various endeavors such as battles or voyages. Sacrifices were also an integral part of Viking religious rituals. Animals were commonly sacrificed during these ceremonies as offerings to appease the gods. These sacrifices were seen as a way to establish a connection between humans and divine beings. Burial customs among the Vikings were diverse and often reflected their beliefs about the afterlife. They believed that warriors who died bravely in battle would be welcomed into Valhalla, a majestic hall ruled by Odin where they would feast and fight until Ragnarok, the end of the world. To ensure proper passage into Valhalla, warriors were often buried with weapons, armor, and other valuable possessions. In addition to Valhalla, Vikings also believed in other realms of existence, such as Helheim, the realm of the dead for those who died of natural causes or illness. The concept of an afterlife was significant in Viking culture as it shaped their attitudes towards life and death. By examining these aspects of Viking religious practices, rituals, sacrifices, burial customs, and beliefs about an afterlife in Valhalla, we gain valuable insights into their culture and worldview during this fascinating historical period. 7. Decline and legacy. Explore factors that contributed to the decline of Viking power in Europe. One factor that contributed to the decline of Viking power in Europe was the consolidation of centralized states. As European kingdoms grew stronger and more organized, they were able to resist Viking invasions more effectively. The establishment of strong monarchies and the formation of alliances among neighboring kingdoms made it increasingly difficult for Vikings to conduct successful raids. Another factor was internal conflict within Viking society. While Vikings were united in their quest for wealth and conquest initially, internal power struggles began to weaken their collective strength over time. Rivalry among Viking leaders and disputes over territory and resources diverted their attention away from external expeditions. Additionally, changes in technology played a role in diminishing Viking power, as other civilizations adopted similar shipbuilding techniques and improved naval defenses. Vikings no longer held a significant advantage on the seas. This made it harder for them to carry out successful raids and maintain control over conquered territories. Lastly, cultural assimilation also contributed to the decline of Viking power. As Vikings settled in various parts of Europe, they began to integrate with local populations. Through intermarriage and trade relationships, this led to a dilution of their distinct identity. As Vikings and ultimately weakened their ability to sustain large-scale military campaigns. In conclusion, while the Vikings were formidable warriors during the Viking Age, several factors such as centralized states emerging in Europe, internal conflicts within Viking society, technological advancements by other civilizations, and cultural assimilation all played a role in diminishing their power. Over time, discuss how Christianity gradually replaced traditional Norse beliefs among Viking communities prior to the Viking Age. Norse mythology and pagan rituals were deeply ingrained in Viking society. The Vikings worshipped a pantheon of gods and goddesses, such as Odin, Thor, and Freya. These deities played central roles in their daily lives, influencing everything from warfare to agriculture. However, with increased contact with Christian missionaries and exposure to new ideas through trade and exploration, the Vikings began to embrace Christianity. This process was not sudden, but rather a gradual assimilation over several centuries. One key factor that contributed to the spread of Christianity among Vikings was the conversion of influential leaders. When prominent figures within Viking society started adopting Christianity, it had a ripple effect on their followers and communities. Additionally, political alliances with Christian kingdoms often required conversion as a condition for cooperation or support. The desire for favorable trade relations with Christian societies also influenced many Vikings to adopt Christianity. As Christianity gained traction among Viking communities, traditional Norse religious practices slowly declined. Pagan temples were abandoned or repurposed into Christian churches. Rituals associated with Norse mythology were replaced by Christian ceremonies such as baptisms and weddings. Despite these changes, traces of Norse mythology remained in some aspects of Scandinavian folklore and storytelling traditions. Elements from both belief systems often merged together over time. In conclusion, during the Viking Age, Christianity gradually replaced traditional Norse beliefs among Viking communities due to factors such as conversions by influential leaders and political alliances with Christian societies. While pagan practices declined over time, remnants of Norse mythology continued to persist. Within Scandinavian culture, 8. Lasting influences. Highlight the lasting cultural, linguistic, and architectural influences left by the Vikings in the regions they once occupied. Culturally, the Vikings introduced distinct customs and traditions that continue to shape the identities of various regions today. Their sagas and myths have become an integral part of Scandinavian literature and folklore. Furthermore, their emphasis on exploration and trade fostered a spirit of adventure that still resonates in modern Scandinavian societies. Linguistically, Viking influence is evident in numerous English words derived from Old Norse. Common examples include berserk, freckle, ransack, and even personal pronouns like they and them. These linguistic remnants serve as a testament to the enduring impact of Viking settlement on language development. Architecturally, Viking settlements showcase their unique building techniques, characterized by longhouses with thatched roofs and intricate wood carvings. In areas such as Ireland, Scotland, England, Iceland, Greenland, and even parts of Russia where Vikings settled or established trading routes, remnants of their architectural style can still be found today. In conclusion, the Vikings left a profound imprint on the regions they once occupied. Through their cultural practices, linguistic contributions, and distinctive architectural style, their legacy continues to enrich our understanding of history, while also shaping contemporary identities in these regions. Discuss their impact on naval technology, legal systems, and exploration methods. One area where the Vikings made notable contributions was in naval technology. They were skilled shipbuilders and navigators, constructing longships that were fast and versatile. These vessels allowed them to travel long distances across open seas and navigate through shallow rivers with ease. The Viking ships were instrumental in their exploration and raiding expeditions, as well as establishing trade routes. In addition to advancements in naval technology, the Vikings also influenced legal systems during this era. They had a complex system of laws known as the Thing or Althing, which served as a democratic assembly, where disputes were settled and decisions were made collectively. This early form of governance laid the foundation for modern legal systems, based on principles such as fairness and justice. Furthermore, the Vikings' thirst for exploration led them to discover new lands beyond their Scandinavian homelands. They ventured into territories such as Iceland, Greenland, and even reached North America centuries before Christopher Columbus. Their exploration methods included using sun compasses, stars, landmarks, and natural phenomena like bird migrations to navigate uncharted waters. Overall, the Vikings' impact on naval technology, legal systems, and exploration methods cannot be understated. Their advancements in shipbuilding revolutionized seafaring capabilities during that time period, while their legal system showcased early democratic practices. Lastly, their bold explorations opened up new horizons for future generations of adventurers and traders alike. By weaving together historical accounts, archaeological discoveries, and captivating storytelling, Voyages of the North aims to provide a comprehensive and engaging exploration of the rich history of the Vikings.
We know